In the name of Allah Almighty, the most gracious and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope each instance of your life goes well. Welcome to your today's lesson. Before starting today's lesson, it will be better to go through the previous lesson. If you have in your minds, in previous lesson we discussed about culture as well as the characteristics of culture, what culture is, and what are the characteristics of culture. And today's lesson is a bit different from the previous lesson. In today's lesson, we will go through society, what society is. Society has different definitions and has already been defined from the perspectives of different scholars. uh, what is society? As I mentioned before, a society has already been defined from the perspectives of different scholars. One of these scholars is MacLever. MacLever says that society is a network of social relationships which is always changing. It is a network, a web, a group of social relationships which is always changing these relationships. Besides, the second person, A.W. Green, says that society is the largest group which individuals have relationships. If we think deeply, we have already, we can say, have information regarding the society. While people come together and they create relationships in different pairs of life, this is society. Or we can say society is a large group of people who are living together, having common interest, culture, social system, and common needs of life. Uh, as I mentioned before, we can say that society is made from people, where people come together, they help each other, they, we can say, communicate each other, they share their culture, they share their interest, we can say they share their needs, as well as they, we can say, take action to attain their, we can say, necessities and so on. And this is society. Besides, but the second part will be the basis of society. What is the base of society? For base of society, we have different, we can say, dimensions which are included in base of society. The first one is biological factor, biological factor. This factor emphasizes that the people are grouped and associated with each other due to biological needs. This factor is demanding for the importance of biological factor for making a group or association. One of these bases that is discussed, or the first one, is biological factor. Biological factor, as it mentioned before, that people come together, or they are grouped, or they are associated uh, because of biological needs. This is one of the bases of society, and the factor is demanding for the importance of biological factor for making a group or association. And this is so important for creating, for establishment of the group and association. The second factor, or the second base of society, is geographical factor. This is one of the important factors. It molds human behavior. This factor is directing human behavior. It also gives limits for do's and don'ts. An individual is doing an activity or acting according to the geographical structure. This behavior or an individual is shaping according to geographical condition. What a good point. As it mentioned, that this is an important factor. It has a direct connection with the behavior of human. It guides human behavior. But we can say an individual, or we can say a person, while he or she is doing something, it is according to the geographical structure. It is shipping, or it is, we can say, originated from the geographical condition, whatever someone is doing. And the third base of society is sociocultural factor. Sociocultural factor is highly this factor is highly responsible for making up human society. Sociocultural factor, it controls the other two factors, biological and geographical factors, to a great extent. Culture gives structural aspect of society, and social gives the dynamism to the structure, which means culture is the structural aspect of and social is the functional aspect of society. What does it mean? uh, you know uh, it is too important. We can say this base has, we can say, an important, we can say, decision, or this factor has an important, we can say, role in creation of human society. And this factor, or we can say this dimension, it is accountable for the controlling, or we can say bringing under its own impact, the above two factors, I mean biological as well as geographical factors. And as it mentioned before, culture gives structural aspect of society, and social gives dynamism to that structure, which means culture is the structural aspect and social is the functional aspects of society. uh, the other, we can say, issue is types of society. In this point, we will discuss regarding diverse or different types of society, which the first one is traditional society. Before to go through traditional society with more details, if you think deeply regarding this picture, it shows a traditional society. Later on, we will discuss regarding characteristics of traditional society. What does traditional society really mean? What's the aim of traditional society? In this picture, we can say this image widely illustrates traditional society. Traditional societies refers to homegrown or tribal people usually accumulate or collect significant environmental knowledge through everyday experience with nature and natural resources. Traditional, we can say, if you think deeply regarding this society or traditional society، معنی کلمه traditional به معنی عنعنوی، یعنی یک جامعه عنعنوی که بیشتر چیزایش وابستگی به امو عنعنه داره و بیشتر یعنی این مردم قسم مردم هستن که دمی کسایی که در traditional society زندگی میکنه. Those who are living in such societies, they have grew up at their homes. They haven't seen, or we can say less seen, the other societies, and they really, we can say, attain from their environment whatever they attain or whatever they fulfill. It is their own environment. The knowledge or experience which is fulfilled by them, it is from their own environment. یعنی این مردم کس بیشتر چیزا از محیط خود یاد میگیره، از تجربیاتی که در محیطشان است، چون هم grown است. در خانه خود کلان شده و بیشتر مکانهای یا جای را ندیده و از امو تجربه و همچنان علم از امو محیطی که زندگی میکنه از وا میگیره. And most of them are busy with the nature and natural resources. They benefits from nature and natural resources. We will discuss more regarding this. The characteristics of such societies: fewer social institution. We can say the existence of social institution is less than expectation. They have simple culture, like we can say urban, or we can say like those who are living in cities, their culture is, we can say, simpler than those. Communication is slow and old. The communication system which is still implemented in these societies, it is very slow and old. And we can say they follow the same old method of communication, and they follow whatever their ancestors were following. Urban life is very rarely found. Urban life, or we can say life like city, or we can say town life, is rarely found in this society. Some people that they have seen some of the foreign countries, or we can say they have been to some of the foreign countries, some of them they, we can say, live like city people, but most of them, they have their own old culture, and they have their own old, we can say, life. And social change almost inevitable. So social change, or we can say rarely, or we can say rare. Social change are rare in this society. Small population. In these societies, most of the people are not, their population is less than expectation. It means less people, or we can say more people are not living in such societies. Social life is consistent and similar. Those people who are living in these societies, their life is mostly similar or consist, or we can say it is not much different from each other. These were some characteristics of traditional society, as well as we went through what traditional society is. Let's come to the other part, which is rural, or we can say related to countryside society. What is rural society? Once again, I would like to go through, before to go through with more details regarding this society, it will be better to focus regarding this picture. What did you take from this picture, or what did you think regarding this picture? You know, picture says lots of things if we think regarding this picture. Rural, or we can say related to countryside society. Let's go through the countryside society, because we have already went through the picture. Then it will be better to go through the characteristics of this society, as well as we will know what type of society is this. Rural society, we can say related to countryside society. It is a society sparsely populated with emphasis on agricultural profession. You know, most of the residents of such societies, or those people who are living in these societies, they are mostly rely on agricultural profession, or we can say most of them are busy with agriculture. Their professionalism is agriculture. The income which is fulfilled, or we can say the income which is received in such societies, it is most from the agriculture. They have simple culture, besides they benefit from a natural environment, and they have informal social life. The life which is, we can say, the life which is in progress there, it is mostly informal. And besides sameness, or we can say homogeneity, is in profession, dress, language, and custom. Most of their profession is the same. If it is, we can say, like, most of them are busy with agriculture, their lifestyle, their clothes, their language, in their their customs are the same. The other point which should be kept in mind is slow social change due to slow means of communication. As the communication progression is very slow in these societies, therefore social change are very slow due to, we can say, slow communication. And these were rural societies. The other is urban societies, or we can say related to city or town. You know, if you go through this picture, doubtless, cities, facilities come to your mind, and therefore, you can bring lots of things in your mind. Urban societies. Urban societies having the facilities of modern social life. Whatever nowadays we can say uh, come to this world, they are fully existed, or we can say they are somehow exist in these societies, having the facilities of modern social life. یعنی همه سهولت های social life کس در urban society وجود داره. Social interaction is fast and formal. The interaction which is done, or we can say the interaction which is take action regarding, is very, very fast and formal. Fast social change due to education, technology, industry, and the urbanization. As I mentioned before, in comparison to the traditional society, as well as in comparison to the rural societies, the level of social change is much more fast here. I mean, in urban societies. In these social changes are due to education growth, due to technology growth, due to industry growth, and due to urbanization. یعنی تغییراتی که در این جامعه یا در این سوسایتی به میان میه، یعنی بسیار تیز است، و یعنی تغییرات بسیار به تیزی میه در این قسم جامعه، که و علت یعنی تغییرات فوری چی است؟ رشد تعلیم است، رشد تکنولوژی است، رشد صنعت است و رشد urbanization. خب a complex social life is found. Different races, profession, castes, your social groups, and religion live together. یعنی social life یک کمی کمپلکس است. چرا کمپلکس است؟ از خاطر که different races، یعنی نژادهای مختلف در قسم جامعه زندگی میکنه. professions، castes یا social group های مختلف زندگی میکنه. and religion live together. Anonymity is an important, we can say, trait in these societies. خویی بود درس امروزی ما شما. You can find these lessons, we can say, where these references ای references هست و ای بود درس امروزی ما شما. انشالله فکر نکنم قدر سخت باشه. Anyway, I do my best to make it easy for you, and it is your accountability, inshallah. If you go through these lessons, they are short, clear, and easy. But anyway, if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask me. You can send your question through my email, through my WhatsApp, and you can you can call me, or you can get in touch with me. به امیدی که یک چیز یاد گرفته باشین. بود درس امروزی ما شما دوستا. Thank you. Have a nice time. See you. If you have any question, your questions are warmly welcomed.